Okay, check it out. We're going to be looking at some practical maneuvers that you can use to introduce more chromaticism into your bass lines without sounding like you don't know what the hell you're doing, okay? And I'm going to show you a formula that works really well. And we borrow this from Barry Harris, okay? And the formula is really simple. He takes the major scale. Let's look at the C major scale here. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And he says between every one of those tones, we're going to insert a note. And because this is his chromatic, where there's a chromatic step in between those, use that. So that's what we can do. We can go. But as soon as we get to this E and F, there's no space in between that. So he says we're going to just jump past it. We're going to jump past so that we get an extra note in between. So to play up from C to F, we get this. So we got the root, step, second, step, third, step, fourth. We continue. Step, 5, step, 6, step, 7, jump past, step, 8. Okay? And that's the scale. Going downwards, we go 8, step, 7, step, 6, step, 5, step, 4, step up, 3, step, 2, step, root. And that's it. You can apply this idea of just inserting notes in between each of the scale tones to get this chromatic sound. So, you know, you get when I play the scale straight through, you get this. And there's lots of ways, you know, I've seen guys play it like this. You know, play it however you want. It's not important. You're not going to play, you know, you're not going to play that scale straight up. We want to use pieces of it though. And that's what I want to kind of talk about, is how we can use these like fragments of this to create, you know, chromatic movements in our bass lines. So I'm going to take you through, if you could just be patient with me here, I'm going to take you through some like totally usable ideas, okay? So let's the lines that I'm going to show you are all going to be supporting a G major sound, okay? A G major sound in all its sort of, you know, variations. G major 6, G major 7, you know, G9, all your typical major sound, G major 7, 9, you know, 13, you know, G6. They're all the same. They're all based on the G major scale, right? So I want to show you like how we might use that. So let's say we're playing in G major. Let's just look at the triads first, okay? So we got the root, the third, the fifth, and the root. So a lot of times when I'm coming up with bass lines, I think, you know, how do I want to like maybe connect some of these important notes, okay? So this chromatic approach is really useful. So for example, let's say I want to connect the root to the third. And it doesn't matter which one I start on. Maybe I'll just keep things simple. Let's start on the root. So I could go. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So there's a chromatic line that supports the G major chord. Okay. Let's connect the 3 to the 5. Okay. Using that same approach, we know that there's no half step between the 3 and the 4, so we're going to use that jump step. Okay, so we're going to go 3 step, 4 step, 5 step, 4 step, 3. Right? So now we have this line. And that's pretty much, it's the same idea as just a little different. Let's try connecting the root with the 6 here. So you go. So that would be like a 6 chord sound, right? I'm walking down to the 6 and back up to the root. So okay, so that's some really simple ways to kind of like just walk back and forth using like pieces or fragments of that scale. And we can keep moving, but let me introduce an idea here, which is kind of important, I think, and it's kind of an aesthetic concept I want to talk about. But chromatic lines, they gradually step, right? The distances between the steps are like they're short compared to, let's say, the steps we have in like an arpeggio. So it's nice to be able to juxtapose these line shapes, put them side by side. So for example, let's start with that first one, okay, where we just walked up to the 3 and back to the 1. Okay, so root, step, 2, step, 3, step, 2, step, root, 3, 5, 6, 8. So we start getting like sort of a more like a line that has some leaps. Try the same thing with this other one here. So going from the 3 to the 5. Let's try that again. There, I just played a 3, 2, 5, 6, 5. I'm adding more space. There's a lot more distance. Minor third, and then a big jump there. So it's kind of interesting to think about using your chromatics as a mechanism for like juxtaposing different, the steepness of your lines, if you will, the contours of your lines. Let's look at a couple of other examples here. So that the walking up to the 3rd. Let's try walking up to the 5th, and see if we can apply the same kind of idea. So to walk up to the 5th, starting on the root, I could go do da do da ba do da da. So that's my chromatic line. Root, step, 2, step, 3, step, 4, step, 5. And then let's play something like let's just arpeggiate something. So it's like a 5, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, root. I could go to the 6 maybe. That might be nice. So there's a lot of ways I could end that, right? Land on the 7th. Whatever. There's a million ways you could articulate that. I'm just changing up the shape of the line, moving away from that chromatic to more arpeggiated. And I include things like pentatonic shapes in that idea of they have arpeggiated distances in them, if you will. Let's play a couple more lines. Let's see what we can do. Let's play off of the let's play off some of the, let's start the chromatic ideas off of like maybe some of the non-chord tones. So for example, let's play off the 2 here. So where we got the 2, step 3, step 4. Those aren't chord tones. Do bo do be bo, do bo bo be bo 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 bo. So there I walked from the 2 to the 6, but then just used that 6 to arpeggiate like a major 6 chord. A 6 like 9 kind of a sound. Just ended up there. You decide how you want those little arpeggiations to happen at the end. These little punctuated arpeggios. That's the 2. Let's try something off the 5 here. 5, step 6, step 7, step 8, step. Then let's go 9, root 6, 5, 3. See, we got 9 root 6 5 3. There's a million ways I could play that. I could have played 9 7 9 7 5 3 1. So try those out. In the cases where I'm not starting on a chord tone, you can kind of start that last arpeggiated phrase on a non-chord tone. It's fine, as long as you sort of finish with like the chord tones. When I started on that, the example I just used there, let's use one that's really like, let's start on the 7 here. So I'm going to walk up to the 4, which is kind of like an avoid note. Okay. So I'm kind of like on the 4. Well, just whatever. It doesn't matter that you're starting on the 4, on that downbeat. It just ends up having a little bit of a sustained kind of a sound. But that let's analyze that movement starting off of the 7th there. We go 7 step. We have to step over the root, right? 7 step, root, step 2, step 3, step 4, and this is where my arpeggio starts. I'm just gonna go 4 3 2. Why not? It's sort of like an add 2 kind of a sound. I could have gone make it more So I hope that you found some of this enlightening. In a lot of these cases, I've been like sort of like doing some ascending work. We should take a look at, how we can apply, some descending ideas. And we might reverse this around, maybe do something like, let's go. That's an interesting one to see where that lands. Let's go to the 6. That one's really interesting because it wants to land on the 4, which is kind of like an off limits thing. But who cares? That's a kind of like a similar to the line that we played before, right? We're just are going up to the 7th here. Root 3, 5, 7. We're doing a descending march down. And then I'm gonna resolve on the G, but I'm gonna go. There's a lot of ways I could do this. Yeah, so I'm probably spinning a little bit here, but it is the holidays, and I wanted to share that with you guys and ladies, and however else you identify, which is totally awesome, that people feel comfortable enough to, be authentic. Anyways, enjoy. Stay tuned for more.